from a glass Lewis of freshly squeezed orange juice flavored with DEI fairy dust. It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Pants, joined by analyst whole Matt Moscardi. Woo!
Wow, we're really pushing the puns today. Huh? Glass Lewis.
I like that. I like saying that. On today's, oh no, the director failed attendance standards, called May 20th, 2025, The Good Game.
That is the best show name you've ever come up with. The director failed attendance.
Well, Matt, I've discovered that's the one thing that we can all agree upon is just a no. It's a no-go.
It really is the only vote that is a guaranteed. Investors are going to care about that.
Yeah, despite the fact that it's 2025 and you can record a meeting and with 25,000 different apps, you can have 17,000 assistants helping you with those notes, with the folders of information.
AI can just write down what everyone said.
But if you choose to go to your daughter's soccer match over going to one meeting, that's a no. It's a no. Big no.
I mean, you could literally, but despite the fact that the part of the problem with corporate boards is it's like Weekend at Bernie's. Like everyone in there is dead, and the CEO is sort of propping half of them up, right?
It doesn't matter if your Moody's has downgraded your credit, if you have like audit control problems. None of that matters, Matt. That's silliness.
No. Get out.
But Doug missed a meeting. Our show today is being sponsored by Free Float Analytics.
Yeah.
The only platform measuring board power connections and performance for free.
I just got a sneak preview of some of the data that they're working on. And that we're going to feature in our Proxy Countdown. So if you listen to our podcast, go get Proxy Countdown. They're looking at, in honor of the U.S., dropping the credit rating in the United States, or S&P dropping Moody's rather, dropping the credit rating of the U.S. So now no AAAs. They have data on which directors sat on boards where the credit rating has dropped at the company.
There you go.
Yeah, but I don't know if they failed attendance standards. So
let me tell you what I did yesterday. The Wall Street Journal had a pretty insipid report. The 250 most influential and effective corporate directif.
Yeah,
influential and
effective.
And I'm still scratching my head over what the hell does influential or effective mean. I don't know if they really have a firm grip of that. But the first place I went, Matt, was to the freefloatanalytics.com database to see what the database actually said, because that database actually has actual performance measures, has quantitative data. So I kind of did some compare and contrasting. It was a lot of it made me giggle.
Just a quick shout out to the Wall Street Journal. I know that it's hard to find free float analytics data because it's free and on the website. That's hard, right? But when you have to start a sentence with, in some cases, a strong individual score made up for a poor company showing, Donald Noss, a director at Target, McKesson, and Kellanova, ranked 13th overall, despite low corporate scores brought on by audit quality penalties at all three companies.
Oh, whatever, Matt. You're being way too...
He somehow overcame the odds, which were his job, in order to score 13th on our 250 ranking.
If you read the article closely, Matt, you'd see that the director also, he brought umbrellas to a meeting where it was raining and none of the other directors brought umbrellas. He brought like 10 umbrellas. It kind of saved the board that day.
I mean, he was at that meeting too.
And he was there.
He
fell asleep, but he was there.
That's unbelievable. All right, we'll come back to that at Proxy Countdown.
May 20th, a good time for the good game. Okay, this is I kind of changing up this week. I'm calling this the 5-5-5 good game of stupid.
I don't like that name at all.
3 categories: normal headlines, Trump centered headlines, and funny headlines only to me. They're funny only to me.
No, they'll probably end up being funny to me.
All right, let's start with some normal headlines for our good game. And this is how the good game works. I find this has been difficult since Trump 2.0. Finding headlines that make me feel good about the world is exceedingly difficult. It's a rare occurrence. But I have chosen headlines that, seem okay to me. And
so it's the okay game right now.
Yeah, and I bring Matt in because Matt is our chief pundit extraordinaire. He is the arbiter of truth, and he gives me a score of 1 to 10, whether it's actually good or not. Okay, got it?
Yeah. I got it. I've been here before.
Let's start with a normal category. Okay, this is a home run of a whatever. I don't care what score you give. This is a home run of a headline, and it pretty much supports everything we do here at Free Float, right? Completely supports the database, freefloatanalytics.com. And for any person that we've ever spoken to who gets super scared of the idea of like voting out a director or even having data about directors, this headline says it all. 93%, Matt. 93%. You know what that means, right? 93%.
That's at a 400% or the normal 100%.
Just a normal 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
That would mean, like, from a Family Feud perspective, that would mean that they surveyed 100 U.S. executives. 93 said this same thing. Okay.
Okay, I got the math now. Yeah.
93% of U.S. executives desire board member replacements.
Wow, good for them.
93%. This is a survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers and the Conference Board. So this isn't a survey done by your friend like Gus. Okay, this is like these are actual people.
I know Gus. He's not a very good surveyor.
93% of top managers surveyed want at least one board member replaced.
Wait, you said at least, right? That's.
I mean, think about that. I mean, I hope that anyone who's listening who's ever like shot us down for saying, "Oh no, you guys don't know anything. You don't understand. You can't do that."
But you know what that means?
They want to replace their own directors. They want this.
You know what that means? That means the executive management, because these are, you said executives, right?
Yeah.
Like the executive management agrees with the survey of the board members themselves. In the last PwC board survey, board members said that at least one director on the board shouldn't be there. So the executives, do you think the executives and the boards know the one in every case? But
yes, absolutely.
They all agree that someone needs to go. Investors, why are you not voting anybody out? They all want someone out. Everybody wants that.
Here's the confusing part of it is that, and this also backs up one of our theories, 32% of executives reported board members interfering in day-to-day operations. So I think
that's the one they want out.
Yes, and I think what it suggests is that more and more management, they want directors who are just there to like help the CEO pass whatever they want. That's why the CEO is the chair, and they just want directors to say yes. But clearly this is an opening for all shareholders to vote out directors that you think are underperforming.
That would mean if you're an investor, you should vote out the opposite person that they wanted to vote out, because it probably suggests they just want a rubber stamp. I love everything about this.
Yeah.
Can we stop the game now? This is going to be the only good headline.
This is pretty great. I mean, this does support our company like nothing else.
I mean, forget our company. This is just wonderful humanity here. Where so if you're listening to this and you're like in an office, if you're watching the live stream and you're like, I want you to look to your left and look to your right and honestly think, do you like the people, like all the people on your team?
That's not nice.
You can always think of one person on your team that probably shouldn't be there. Why is it different on boards?
Matt, I only have one person to look to, and that's you.
I know. And you wish I wasn't here most of the time.
Okay, well, give me a score.
That's a 10. It's a 50 if I could do a 50.
I had to begin with that headline because it just made me happy. All right.
It's going to go all downhill.
It's all downhill. Next headline, Tejon. Tejon, what is it? It's Tejon.
I don't even know what that is.
I know. It is in our database. It's Tejon Ranch. It's a company in New Jersey. The shareholders vote in an activist investor, remove longtime director. Now, Matt, this is, this based on the last headline, maybe this is good, although I will say that what we have seen, and you have data to support this, what we have seen is that shareholders only seem to notice when activist investors are involved. But what do you think about? I mean, look, a company actually voted someone out. Is that good? I don't even know. I'm grasping for straws here.
If that's number 2 on the list for the good game, it's really bad.
Here's mainly why I wanted to bring up this story is because they voted out a director who had been there for 24 years, Michael Weiner. Although I think I'd vote out someone named Weiner, but
probably.
But they didn't vote out the chair, who's been chair for 10 years and been a director for 27 years. So I don't really get the logic there. I don't.
How many people can you vote out, though? I mean, like,
I know. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. Yeah.
I guess this is fine. I don't like that it takes an activist to make a decision about whether our board members.
That's the current state of affairs. Yeah.
And I know, like, we read the shareholder proposals at Bank of America, and who did we just do? Another one where they wanted to increase the board size, like increase the number of people up for election and keep the board size the same. So everything was a contested election. I was talking to somebody about that, and it was like a straight up argument that like it's too much disruption. The companies themselves are saying it's too much disruption. Is it too much disruption for you to want somebody in the job who represents you and does a good job? That doesn't seem like too much disruption.
No.
But I don't know why it takes an activist to do that. Like, it just seems like. So I'm going to give this a 6 because I'm glad something happens sometimes, but I'm also disappointed.
Okay. Next headline, good game. This is an old-fashioned one. You're going to hate this one. And I only picked this one because I just wanted to say the name of this company, of this environmental group. Shell faces fresh legal challenge over development of new oil and gas fields. Now, this is because it's set in the Netherlands, and they say that developing new fields, gas fields, is a breach of legal duties to cut carbon emissions. But the environmental group that's suing Shell is called Milieu Defensie. I just want to say that. Milieu Defensie. Anyway, here's the point, Matt. In America, our companies are suing our shareholders. In the Netherlands, the shareholders are suing the companies. So I don't know.
I mean, we do that in America too.
I guess that's true.
Sue the companies a lot.
Yeah, I know this is like one of those ones you're gonna hate because
I just like that they're suing them. The breach of their legal breach was increasing carbon emissions. I like that.
Right.
That's a legal barrier, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the point. Like, you shouldn't. I'm gonna give this a 5.
I'm gonna.
I like that they got sued, but like, this is one of those things that 20 years from now we might find out it was settled.
God, I was really grasping for straws this week. This next headline's boring even as I'm looking at it. Starbucks doubles down on baristas, not AI, to fix its customer crunch. Now, Matt, the only reason why I picked this headline is I'm wondering, the world seems to kind of hate AI. Is it possible that this is going to help the labor movement? Maybe people are just going to want actual human beings involved with things they do.
I feel like it only helps when, like, people who need to like tamp down some espresso beans, ground espresso beans.
Well, why can't a robot do that?
I mean, honestly, I have a machine that you press a button
you do have
and
a robot,
it like makes espresso, right? Like that's a thing.
Right.
But I don't know.
But would you go to Starbucks? Would you pay $7 at Starbucks for an espresso where they just use the same machine you have at home?
Well, mostly I'm wondering what Starbucks version of AI would be. Would it be like Howard Schultz? They'd all look like Howard Schultz, and like robots, and
sure.
What would that even be? And I thought the idea, the Starbucks new move to get back to their roots was to make like it not feel like you went to Walmart for a coffee anymore. Like you have like a nice couch and you can sit down in a cafe and there's other people there. I don't get this at all. I don't know why that's a headline, that they're doubling down on baristas.
Like, they're just hiring people, Matt. I don't know. I'm trying here. I'm just trying to find some good in the world.
I'm gonna try with you not to give it a 0, so I'll give it a 3.
All right, how about this one? This is really the only sarcastic one, but it's not really completely sarcastic. I just don't necessarily believe it. But Elon Musk says he will spend, quote, a lot less, end quote, on future campaign donations.
I like the non-specificity
This was a breaking news on
a lot less.
This was breaking news on CNBC.com. I'm just saying. This was breaking news. Well, let me help you out with this one. He also commits to leading Tesla for the next 5 years.
I don't know if I like that any better. Like I honestly, is that gonna change the outcomes now? Like next year, are we gonna be like, you know what? He hasn't elected any Nazis recently, so now we'll buy cars from him again.
He would have to do a full flip back. He would have to embrace the non-Nazi world for liberals to start buying those cars again. Because I think the damage is done, and there's a lot of polling out there, brand reputation polling. He's effectively killed the reputation of all the companies he owned. So I know he's doing this a little bit to try to win back favor. Of course, the share price will go up regardless. Like,
well,
it doesn't
that's
really matter.
My prediction actually is he needs to return to meme stockery. There's no way that his net worth is entirely tied to like the cult of personality and meme stock movement, right? It's not actually
bro culture, manosphere, dopes.
It's some other thing. It's not the cars, right? Like his cars are trading at a multiple that no other car company is trading at. And it's not because his cars are that much better than all the other cars. Like BYD is making better cars everywhere else, but we're not allowed to get them here, right? Like so there are artificial barriers that prop him up. My prediction on him is, and he has to make a meme stock. In order to make a meme stock, he's going to take all the information he stole from the government while he had access and train his AI. And he's going to, the meme stock is going to be like robots with AI in them. Like he's already started talking about it, but he's going to pull that into Tesla. It's all going to be like Tesla's now not a car company.
Right.
We're a robot AI company only. That's what we do. It's all put together. That's our meme stock.
And remember, he suggested that there's a 20% chance that AI will destroy the Earth and humanity. So, it's a company that may or may not destroy the
As long as it doesn't donate to conservative causes, then it's probably got someone who will buy it.
Less than he's doing now.
Just less.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a 5 because I like less, but I prefer none.
All right, let's move over to a category you're really going to hate. This is our good game, our 5-5-5 good game of stupid. Look, I'm trying.
I know. I can feel your effort.
And here's a shout out to a lot of my like liberal peers. First of all, there's a disturbing trend with some people in the media, some of my friends, just some people I know that people have like stopped reading about Trump. They've stopped talking about politics because they've all given up, and we've seen a lot of peer companies, peers in our world, Matt, that have given up the fight. Like they've given up on DEI, they've given up, and I'm just telling you once again, not the time to give up. So
I get it though.
I don't get it. I'm still focusing on Trump, and I'm actually trying to find some things that he does or says that align with all values, not just on the right. So here's my attempt. And the first one's a tricky one, Matt. And I forgot to pull the quote. Doug McMillon, CEO of Walmart, remember he had a very, very impassioned, stakeholder-friendly quotes when he was the chair of the Business Roundtable. Remember, he was basically the Pope. He was like the Jesus-y chair of the Business Roundtable. He was talking about talking about systemic racism. He was just talking about how we just need corporations can no longer just focus on shareholders. We have to the purpose.
He did not kneel in front of a Walmart, though.
Okay, but he was pretty big on this. But here's where this has all gone crazy. This is a weird moment. Here's the headline, which I'm sure you've seen. Trump tells Walmart to eat the tariffs instead of raising prices. And Matt, one of the reasons Trump himself used as an example is that they made plenty of profits last year, so they can do this. So, again, I know this is like part of this is Trump. He's trying to build political capital with his supporters that by keeping the prices down, it's going to help him politically. But by attacking a corporation's profits, it's really, we're entering in a strange world, right? We're focusing on the stakeholders of Walmart. We've entered in a strange world here, Matt. So why don't you weigh in on this headline?
I am so torn. This is the master class of the Trump administration, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
It is real. They really, and this whole U.S. conservative movement, but the global conservative movement, they've really done an amazing job of forcing me to defend everything that I made fun of and hated before.
Oh, in this case, who's that? What's that?
Well, in
Walmart?
this case, Walmart would be Walmart is a company that we've complained about for 20 years about destroying small businesses, paying the least amount to its workers, reaping profit for the Walton family. The Walton family, we've done research about like how they store their suppliers on like isolated boards of nonprofits so that
Right.
like it's like this whole world of the Waltons and Walmart people don't like that much. And
No.
that is a
Except for
fairly
Trump.
universal thing.
Except for a lot of Trump supporters who that's their one place to go. The
But
next
those
store
people-
is 80 miles away, probably.
But those people like Walmart, the reason why Walmart's the one place is because they drove all the other businesses out
That's
of
true.
business,
That's
right? Like,
true.
so
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who like in rural places and urban places who don't like, they associate Walmart with a brand, a relatively negative connotation, right?
Yeah, and because we get so much junk from China, the prices are absurdly low for a lot of the things in Walmart.
And then on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
you have Trump and his dopey tariffs.
Yeah.
Like we know that the tariffs they said were not a tax on Americans, but they are a tax on Americans, right? Like that's what that is. And Trump is now, in
Unless
order
the
to
company
avoid
eats the tariffs.
the
Yeah.
political fallout, has to demand that the companies eat the tariffs, which is effectively a tax on the companies, which I like a
Yes.
tax on the companies, but I hate the fact that
Yeah.
his dumb just tax the companies. Instead, he's got dumb tariffs, and now it's a political maneuver, and he's using Truth Social to bully companies into
It's-
do pricing. Is there any more nanny state of thing? Just pass the tax.
Well,
And then,
here's
are
where
you a
it lost.
capitalist or not a capitalist?
Here's where it lost it for me, because there's a part of me that loves this. I love that he's attacking their profits for being like they have enough profits that can actually start to look at stakeholders, start to help stakeholders. But here's where he completely blows up his own argument, because I was actually supporting him a few weeks ago, saying, look, the one thing I kind of secretly love about the tariffs is that maybe I don't have proof of this. Maybe Americans will be less addicted to buying junk because we buy so much cheap junk from China. It is horrible. And that's what he was saying too. Remember, he's saying you only need like $3. You don't need $1,000. But if Walmart eats the tariffs, Matt, the prices are still absurdly low. And what if you actually haven't? You're not changing consumer shop buying
This
habits
is what
anymore.
I mean. Like,
right?
who
Like
am I
you
angry at now? Like, I don't know. Like,
so, yeah, I don't know what
I
to do with
hate
this
it.
headline. Yeah. So how do you rate this headline?
I am giving it a 0
Oh,
because here's what I want.
damn it.
Right? I
Yeah.
want like
Different
someone
president?
say something they mean. Right? Like,
Oh, stop.
Does Walmart we know that you're an evil empire. You're one of
Yeah.
many evil empires. Fine. I liked it better when I could just pick on you. When I could just be like,
Yeah.
you're a dual class, family controlled hellhole. I liked being able to just say that. I don't want to be confused by saying
I wanna
like
support them.
like on the someone on the conservative side, Trump and his total maniacal, like brain addled, old man brain, get off my lawn brain is I'm not gonna agree with him about Walmart, but I also don't like disagree with. I hate all of it. I hate
Yeah.
that. I hate
Well,
all the feels it makes me feel. So I'm out.
Here's the dopiness of the American condition in general is that we fixate so much on taxes, which is the stupidest thing to fixate on, right? Because what Trump could have done is tell Walmart, okay, raise the prices, but take those profits and put them all into your employees, right? They employ
Well,
over
that's
a
trickle
million,
down.
right?
That's trickle down economics. Yeah.
Right. So boost their pay, boost their benefits, and then they won't need like they won't
No,
right. They won't.
he's busy gutting employee rights. At the
Right.
same time, we're
That's
gutting
what's
shareholder
crazy
rights.
about all this, right?
At the same time, we're forcing the company to eat the profit losses.
Anyway, yeah.
And the only winner
exhausted.
in all these scenarios is Trump, right? Like, so if everyone listens to what Trump has to say, the winner is Trump. That's the only winner.
He still sounds like a populist fighter for the masses.
I think it's a level of insanity that like I hate it. Just get it. I just get it. This
Okay.
is why people are not reading the news.
I'll
I hate
stop.
it.
Let's move on quickly because this one dovetails that last headline. L.A. port shipments fell 30% in early May after Trump tariffs. So this is like
well,
the pandemic effect, right? Like
when's Trump going to call the ports and say, you need to buy more stuff
But
and just
why?
let it sit in a boat?
But we don't need. Why do we need to be such
Like,
a retail economy in the first place?
But
right?
all of the tax cuts that are in Congress right now, the mega bill in Congress right now, is dependent on the fact that we get revenue from the tariffs somehow, as in someone has to pay for it. And if you cut the taxes on the wealthiest Americans and effectively increase the taxes on the rest of Americans, which is what's going to happen. You cut Medicaid, which is the health insurance for the poor in this country, the poorest people. You cut food stamps and SNAP programs. You cut education, like extracurricular education. You cut as much education as you possibly can.
I mean, they're even cutting the programs that help people save on their appliances.
They're cutting energy efficiency programs to make things cheaper.
Yeah.
And these companies pass the tariffs on to the consumer.
Yeah.
Like, what you've effectively done is said we very visibly have to take everything from poor people in order to pay the rich people slightly more on their tax returns. Like, we give them money back.
Which is
That's
absolutely
all that
wrong
says.
focus. Yes, absolutely wrong. Anyway, what's your...
I love that the shipments fell. I wish that they'd fall to 0%.
I agree with you.
I wish that there'd be 0 ships coming into LA for a little while. Just let's see what happens.
What's your score?
I'm going to give that an 8.
Okay, here's a governance one, and it's still in the Trump category. Meet the New York Times CEO. She's outmaneuvering tech, Trump, and an industry in crisis. So, first of all, look, I'm glad that you're celebrating the CEO of the New York Times, but how are we going to meet her if you don't even name her? Like,
was that name in the New York Times? That article?
No, I think this is the FT. I kind of, or maybe Fortune. I forget the source. Meredith. Her name is Meredith Kopit Levien. She is the youngest person and second woman to lead the New York Times in its almost 200-year history. Here's why I chose this one. 2 reasons. First of all, we're seeing early on, like, first of all, my great governor in the state of Maine, Janet Mills, she's like the first person to fight back against Trump. And now we're seeing, stories like this, Meredith Kopit Levien. So I guess it takes a woman to fight back against Trump. But the reason, and the other reason why I chose this, Matt, is I overheard you yesterday. I don't really know the context. I kind of slightly overheard you talking to a reporter about female CEOs cleaning up the mess of companies. So that's why I picked this for you, because I thought, I don't know, there's got to be something good here, right?
Well, she did not clean up a mess quite the same way at the Times. There's like structural decline is different from like the boys made a mess, right?
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Am I supposed to? I don't know how to.
I don't know.
This is a real stretch.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. I mean, it's nothing. It's 5. It's a 5.
Okay.
It's,
Look, I mean, you can play this game any way you want.
That's
5 is not bad. 5 is not a 0. It's not a 1.
I mean, I don't know enough about her, but I'm gonna guess that, like, if I dug in there, I'd find things that like annoyed me. But I'd rather not be annoyed since she's outmaneuvering like tech bros. I don't even know what that means, though.
Here's a funny one.
What are the maneuvers?
Here's a funny one from the Trump category. Business owners with unfortunately named companies face fallout thanks to Trump's war on woke. This article focused on, I think this is from the Wall Street Journal. They focused on 2 companies that both called DEI, the companies, one which stands for Design Engineering Inc., and the other one it's just called DEI, based on...
I love that.
Based on a Spanish word. It's a restaurant supply company. How about this for the theater of the stupid? I mean,
I love it.
Does it get any dumber than this?
No, the best part about this is exactly how they were cutting programs and grants. They were cutting, NIH grants because they had keywords in them like woman, right? Like, and to me, this is the exact same thing. Like, companies like Design Engineering Inc. are getting basically blasted, and they're being like cut out. They're being targeted, whatever, just because they're The three letters are D, E, and I. I think it's fabulous.
The worst one that's happened in the last couple of weeks is, which I'm sure you've seen the headlines, is they're ending the Digital Equity Act because it has the word equity in the title. And Matt, all that is increasing access to the internet for rural
internet.
Americans who 90% basically supported Trump. So like, and I don't know why all the Verizons and Googles of the world aren't mad at him for this, because this is just outrageous that it's just because of a word. I mean,
but Fox News is really happy because like they won't have internet, but they will have television, right?
And they will have another talking point to we destroyed a equity program or something. I don't know.
I love the deep irony of this. I wish actually there were more companies with DEI as initials.
Yeah,
that were like doing totally random, non-related things. I'm gonna give this an 8 because I like it.
Yeah, there is I've seen that there is a ESG company that has nothing to do with ESG that I've seen before.
Yeah, it's like an electrical. Yeah, it's like an. I feel like I've seen that too.
So you gave that one an 8. Okay, I think we have one more in the horrible Trump category. Oh, here we go. Trump signs bipartisan, that's probably the key word of there, Take It Down Act to fight revenge porn and deep fakes. So Trump said that under the law, anyone who intentionally distributes explicit images without the subject's consent will face up to 3 years in prison. And Matt, listen to this part of the law. The law establishes new civil liabilities for online platforms that refuse to take these images down promptly upon request. I mean, right? This is good. And doesn't this open the door to holding meta platforms, all these companies, liable for abusing stakeholders? Essentially, why does it have to stop with revenge porn and deep fakes?
I agree and agree. I agree with the law, good, right? And I agree that like this should open the floodgates for
for breaking down Section 230, right? Which is bizarre because Trump has cozied up to all the tech bro CEOs. They follow him around the world now. He's deregulating everything.
Just a quick reminder.
Yeah.
Trump owns a social media company. He's the dual class owner of a social media company. If they kill Section 230, you can be on Truth Social and sue Trump for what you see on Truth Social, right?
This is just nuts. I mean, this reminds me of the first headline in this category of eating the tariffs. It's just like, this is the game plan of Americans. Americans are just so befuddled. That's all I can think to say.
I'm going to give just the headline.
Yeah.
Take It Down Act to fight revenge porn and deepfakes. Just the headline on 9. I'm going to give the headline.
I mean, how about a bipartisan thing in America? That seems like a miracle. All right. Let's end the show with the last category.
Yes.
Which I'm calling funny, really, to me only. But maybe you. We'll see. Here's the first headline. Engineers reveal robot that takes care of old people so you don't have to.
You just like this so you don't have to.
It just made me feel happy and sad. I don't know what to think about what the future of humanity is. I'm just confused by everything. I mean, I'm seeing reports that Musk is saying that because of AI, no one's gonna work. Everyone's gonna like have a bunch of money, and no one's gonna work. Everyone's gonna live to like 500 years old. I just like, what's happening? What's the future hold for us? You like this one?
Am I rating this for the funniness of the headline? Then,
no,
like,
it's up to you. You're the arbiter
because
of
it
truth.
just makes me sad. Is really what it like we hate ourselves so much that we don't want to talk to older versions.
But
of
we
ourselves.
Don't want to die. But we don't want to die. The thing
neither
we're most
want to
afraid
die.
of is public speaking and death. What about AI to take care of the public speaking? Although actually, I have a headline for that coming up. So
just replace old people in that headline with people, and then you are in Wall-E, aren't you? Isn't that?
Well, what about like it reminds me of maybe an episode of the Black Mirror. Why don't we replace old people with AI so we don't have to? Why don't we just like transplant their brains into a AI robot, and then we don't have to clean up after them? They can self-clean. Like my oven, I ran my self-cleaning oven over the weekend. It only took 3 hours. It was beautiful. It was like perfectly clean. I didn't have to do anything, man. I just hit the button. So why don't we just treat our old people like that? Self-cleaning grandma.
This ranks as your second best idea next to Meta AI branded children. This is your second best idea.
Yeah.
But
Give me a score.
This is Mark Zuckerberg saying, like, you shouldn't need to get friends. We'll provide them for you with AI.
It
right?
is.
That's what
You're
this
right.
is.
Absolutely.
This is what it is.
This is the. I saw another headline I didn't capture here. It was the idiot CEO of Duolingo who's suggesting, because I couldn't wedge this into the good game, basically suggesting that because of AI, we're not going to need schools in the future, but we will use them as daycare centers. So we're basically not only are we saying that we're going to demote all women, basically, because these are the service-based industries, education. It's led by women for the most part, but also we're just not going to need people for anything, right? We're not going to. I don't know.
Until your cable goes out and you need to like screw something in or turn on a power switch, and then you need a person. You're gonna have to find a person to do that.
But again, this is the. I'm going to repeat. This is the issue with letting college dropout, manosphere, middle school boy snowflakes decide our future for us. This is the problem.
I'm excited. I'm a little bit excited to see a robot change an adult diaper.
Turning our schools into child care centers.
But also, I'm giving it a 2. I don't like.
Okay.
I don't actually like it.
Here's kind of a funny one. I just thought it was funny because it's kind of in the same way you were complaining about some of the Trump headlines. But I just think it's funny that they're trying to kill something, but they're probably going to make it more powerful. But anyway, Netflix faces backlash from conservatives after picking up Sesame Street. W is for woke. So basically, they're defunding PBS and NPR. Sesame Street is having a crisis. So Netflix kind of swooped in, and they're gonna hey, we'll pick up Sesame Street from you, PBS, and now I feel like Sesame Street's gonna be reborn again. It's gonna become more powerful because
The
yeah.
The headline suggests there is an episode that's called W is for woke, but
That's
really
just a joke from the headline writer, I suppose.
The backlash is just that Netflix is picking up Sesame Street.
Yes, because conservatives think that Sesame Street is woke because they talk about like kids from the barrio, right? They talk about non-white children.
I don't know how to tell them this.
Yeah.
Sesame Street has been on since like 1965 or 70 or something, right? It has been on for like 50 years.
Yeah.
And it largely hasn't changed that much.
No, and I hate to break it to the anti-woke brigade that Sesame Street is set in New York City, where there are people who aren't white in New York City. It's just a reality of New York City.
In fact,
how else would they do it?
How New York City, there's also large birds and puppets. So there's everything.
That's
there.
actually true. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand the backlash, actually. I'm confused by the backlash because it's like after 50 years, you'd think people knew what Sesame Street was, but now they're angry at Netflix for it.
Yeah. Right.
You also, on Netflix, have the ability to not watch everything.
What?
Do you know how much is on Netflix, people?
I don't actually think that's true. I
you
think
can skip that thing.
I think you're supposed to watch in order. I think that's how it works.
In fact, somebody did an estimate that if you watched everything that was currently on Netflix, I read this like last year, it would exceed your life expectancy with the number of hours of content that's on Netflix.
I would think more than that, right? Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, sure,
just skip that thing.
Yeah.
Spend the rest of your life on all the other stuff before they bought that.
I don't know, Matt.
This seems like a cancelable offense.
Honestly, the rhetoric I hear in the political theater and the way we confuse our Americans now with misinformation, I think maybe we should all just start re-watching Sesame Street. I think we have a lot to relearn about the world.
Well, aren't they going to? How are they going to train the AI to teach the children anyway? Don't they have to use Sesame Street, because it's public broadcasting and they can steal it, right?
Yeah, I did see an article yesterday about the data, looking at the data of which AI companies are essentially stealing the most from Wikipedia. At one point, OpenAI was using it for like 15% of all of their responses. They just go right to Wikipedia.
I love it.
Right. All right. So what's your score on this
I
one?
love that.
The
I could
rebirth of
search
Sesame Street.
Wikipedia myself.
Yeah.
OpenAI.
The rebirth of Sesame Street on Netflix.
I'm giving it a 7 because
All right.
it's not the rebirth. I just think it's fabulous that that conservatives. So far, conservatives can't go to Target. They can't drink beer. They can't go to Walmart. They can't watch Netflix.
Yeah.
They can't
go to France.
They can't go. They're like, there's only like one car they can drive. It's a Tesla now, and
Which
they can't charge the Tesla because Musk fired the entire charging staff.
And because EV is woke, yeah.
And EVs are woke, so your brain explodes if you actually have one.
Yeah.
Like, you can't drive your Cybertruck that is arguably less woke, but the sides are falling off and it rusts when it rains.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I don't know.
What are you left with? Is there only fentanyl left? Is that what we're getting? We're getting down to the dregs, is what I'm saying. Like entertainment dregs.
All right. How about this next headline? This is real. This headline. This is from the FT. I did like a triple take on this one. The headline is UBS deploys AI analyst clones. UBS has started using artificial intelligence to turn its analysts into avatars, sending videos of the simulated bankers to clients, in a move the lender said would free up staff to focus on more productive tasks. This is just what the hell? UBS? This is what really?
This one actually is not surprising to me.
Really?
No.
Where the dystopia is just coming in. It's just raining dystopia.
I think the things we're going to be. I think the avatar thing is creepy.
Yeah,
just
the whole thing is
don't
creepy.
pretend it's a person. Just let it be a computer.
Matt,
right? Like
I've been using. I've started to use a little bit of AI to help me with some of my research. I use it to help me with my research for really simple data things. I use it for the proxy countdown to help me create some data tables, market cap values. Matt, I asked it 5 different times in a row. It changes its mind. It changes the data. It changes its response every time. It's maddening. So the clients of UBS are going to rely on the AI version of a human being to get their investment advice. I'm sorry, that's honestly, ludicrous. Ludicrous to me.
I was like a broker at one time, like a retail stockbroker, basically. I was a financial advisor for a short period. I went to conferences with other financial advisors. AI is a step up. It's not a step down.
Okay.
Sure. But the avatar part is the creepy part to me.
Yeah.
Like, don't pretend it's a person.
Will they age the avatar? Or what about if you're hungover from the night before and you get bags under your eyes? Will the avatar have the bags to show?
My boss once told me that like we should have a story for every client about why they should buy a stock and why they should not buy a stock.
Okay.
And your job was to go in and understand, like read the person and like let them talk and let them like talk about how they're feeling about like whatever. And then you make a pitch based on the direction you think that they're leaning. Right? AI is actually really good at that. It can just agree with you all the time, and then it argues it argues against itself routinely. I think AI is going to be great for this. I think it's good. I'm giving this an 8. I like it.
Well, the good news is that I can finally find someone to replace me, and I can go sit on my lawn chair. Okay, 2 more headlines. This you're going to like this one. J.P. Morgan CEO Dimon, that's Jamie Dimon, still intends to step down in the next few years. Here's the quote: "It's up to the board." So this is the guy. Yeah, go ahead.
He said he hasn't had a boss in 30 years.
Yeah, so it's a confusing one, right? So again, this is the board that he controls. He's the chair of the board. He sets the agenda. So
there's a couple of things about this headline to like.
Up to the board, yeah.
There's the still.
Yeah.
He still intends to do it.
Again,
it was a month ago he said he was going to step down, wasn't it? It was like not that long ago.
It's possible he's immortal. We don't know how he's going to age. And plus, with these UBS analyst clones, why can't we just have a Jamie Dimon clone, right?
But then there's intends next, right? So and then the board part.
Up to the board.
There's a lot. There's a lot to like here. This
Yeah.
is a 10. This is a 10 if ever
Do you
there
think
was
that
one.
if he doesn't feel like stepping down next year and he sees on the agenda succession plan, he can just cross that off, right? He can just get his red
Oh
pen
yeah,
out
as the
and just be like,
chair.
nah,
Yeah,
we're not talking about that today.
He doesn't even need a Sharpie. He can just cross it off in pencil and let everyone know.
That's a 10. One more, and this one is clearly in my. This is just for me. This last headline, although there is a sub note to this that I discovered that I enjoy even more to the headline. Henry Schein, is it Schein? Is that the name of the company?
Yeah, I
Shein?
think so. Yeah, Shine.
Appoints Dan Daniel to board of directors. You know, I love directors with two first names, but I've never quite seen this one. Dan Daniel, right? That's. But here are two facts I discovered about this headline that I love, making me love it even more than the fact that there's a director named Dan Daniel. First of all, his first name is actually, it's not Daniel, it's actually William.
So he chose the Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, so that tickles me. But the best part of this is that he used the former EVP of Danaher Corporation.
You're just like the other Dan.
Come
You're like,
on,
you
I
need
mean, this is
another
the
Dan.
greatest. Come on, give me something here. Danaher, Dan Daniel, what's happening here?
It's Bill Dan is what it is. Like his name is Bill Dan Daniel.
The meritocracy is working. That's all I can say. I mean,
I don't. You know, this is going to sound cruder than I mean it to.
Yes.
But in the 90s, there was like a lot of conservative talking points about how black people in this country were naming their kids. Right? Like it was a lot of like
they were uncomfortable.
They were
with that.
uncomfortable with the way they named their kids.
Yeah.
This actually seems like the most egregious counterpoint I've ever heard.
Yeah, how come they're
William
not uncomfortable with this?
Daniel?
Yeah.
That's the guy's name. William Daniel.
I just want to call Dan and be like, Dan, did you had to work at Danaher? Like you're so bought into this stupid nickname that you had to do that. You had to troll us all.
You could have gone with Bill Daniel, but you went with Dan Daniel. You chose that part.
Come on,
right?
give me a score on this one.
This is the I can't say I like your headline. This is a you headline. It's a 5.
Oh, all right. No, it really is a me headline.
It is the most you headline ever.
I'm guessing you got a 6, and yeah, you got a 6. 6.1. You always get basically a 6 on the good game, which is, I guess, is hopeful for humanity, right? There's a little bit of good in the world, right?
It's not. But if there's one headline, if you're listening to the show or watching the show, there's one headline to take away. That is 93% of U.S. executives desire board member replacements.
93%.
93%.
At least one, Matt. At least one.
Basically, every executive team wishes a board member was gone.
And we can help you do that job. We reach out to Free Flow Analytics so we can help with this problem.
That is fabulous headline. That is Hazelnut Rallis. I'm your analyst, Matt Mascari. We are Free Float. Come back on Thursday. We've got a proxy countdown. There's a lot to cover at the proxy countdown. First of all, it's proxy season. So it's bananas. But also, there's this Wall Street Journal top 250 board directors. We got to dissect that thing. There's results from so many meetings that we got to go through. There's too much to talk about. We got to go deeper onto which director you should be replacing for the management team's sake. There's so much to talk about. Also, come back on Friday where you can get our wrap of the week. Until then, good